Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Blue Black Death Shadow, no reserve list edition. That's right, this entire deck can be purchased for a few $100s, and I do encourage anybody who's watching this who wants to get into Legacy to just buy this deck and play it. Like, if you can afford it. Like, this is the best place to start. You are going to get absolutely brutalized. You're going to lose so many games. But as you do, you are going to get good because this deck demands true excellence in gameplay. This does not have margins to spare. You're not like resolving a one ring and then like you've got an extra turn and you're drawing all these cards and stuff. No, you are fighting on the very margins of life and death. By definition, Death Shadow requires you to go low in life so that you can leverage its full power. You have to get your life total low so Death Shadow becomes this formidable attacker. And then we've got Murktide. So we're going to be navigating the game into a situation where we either have a Death Shadow or a Murktide swinging for lethal after we've thoughtseized to pick apart our opponent's hand, after we've dazed, wasteland, forced, removed all of their threats. And it's going to be really fun and really exciting. So this is Marco Montani, European Player of the Year. This is his exact 75, except for a couple quick substitutions. First, he was playing 2 Underground Seas. I wanted to get this no reserve list, so I added a basic island and a 4th Watery Grave. Hopefully that doesn't completely disrupt the balance of what he was trying to accomplish, because he did have the option to go get Underground Seas. He did not have any basics. I don't like playing without basics. I think a basic island is fine, but you know, he can do that because he's an incredible player. I am not on his level. I'm going to do my best though. Sideboard wise, we've got some stuff for graveyard strategies. We've got double engineered explosives. This is the first time I've ever played with 2 of these, but it seems like it's pretty good because Chalice is potentially backbreaking. This can also be pretty good against construct strategies. Speaking of construct strategies, we have Dress Down in here. Dress Down does temporarily make your Death Shadow a 13-13 attacker, so sometimes you can surprise opponents with this. We've got some more graveyard disruption. We've got 4 consigns for Eldrazi and artifact strategies. We've got 2 Hydroblasts. I added a Hydroblast and I took out a Plague Engineer. I think genuinely like Hydroblast is underplayed, and we faced like 4 red decks in a row yesterday, and I just don't want to be caught without Hydroblast. Now that we have the island, Hydroblast does become a little bit more viable of an answer to Blood Moon. And then we've got an extra Bowmasters. We've got Shielded Edict. This is a pretty straightforward linear list. One thing that's worth noting is it's kind of almost like a 56 card list because of Street Wraith. Street Wraith can also help us flip a Tamiyo, and I do believe that Marco Montani is playing 4 Tamiyo because she helps reduce the attack power of opposing creatures and helps defend you a little bit while she's leveling up toward Tamiyo Armageddon. So that'll be fun to see. He's also a Brazen Borrower stand, playing 2 of them in his extremely low land count list. Again, this is 17 lands. There are no Troll of Khazad-dûm or anything like this. This is just like straight up like, okay, I hope I don't get wasted mana base, right? And then the 2 Bowmasters are basically the top end. Like the only cards that cost more than 1 mana to cast, a lot of them are just straight up free, are the Orcish Bowmasters, the Brazen Borrowers, and the Murktides. So this will be really fun. I'm not going to promise that I'm going to do well. I think previously I did do a 3-2 with this list, but I think it's the best I've ever done with this. It's a very technical deck, and again, I strongly recommend this as a first Legacy deck. Not only is it really cheap, but it will force you to get good quickly. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against Crazy Lalco, likely Goblins. I played against this player many times, and they are very good at what they do. Let's take a look at this hand. So, I mean, this is like do or die, basically. They're going to immediately know where we're on. There's no hiding it. This is a keep, by the way. This is like about as good as it gets in terms of like lane count. I am going to start with the Street Wraith. Just immediately show them. Maybe they'll think we're on... well, I mean, we're going to fetch the shock land. So we do have a Death Shadow, so we're going to cycle this. Okay, we got another land. That does mean we could open Tamiyo instead of Thoughtseize. If they're on Goblins, that's fine. This protects at least 1 land from us getting wasted out of the game. I do like opening Thoughtseize. I think I'm going to open Thoughtseize. Yeah, if they have a Vial or a Goblin Lackey, I want to take it from them. Okay, we would like to pay the 2 life. Thoughtseize, we've already done so much damage to ourselves. We're already at 13. This is great. And we haven't even dismembered anything, so we can get lower. Holy guacamole. Okay, well, I am very glad that I did this. Animate Dead is a problem because they can animate the troll. We can kill the troll and actually go lower in life. I'm actually fine with them animating. I don't want them to put something in their graveyard. And I think if we take the Entomb, they're basically priced into taking the troll line, which we can deal with. All right. So this is Blue-Black Reanimator. If you didn't catch that, like, this is the #1 deck in the format, basically. Okay, and they're just going to cycle, and next turn I'm expecting them to animate Dead. But, yeah, again, we've got Dismember, so I'm not too worried. All right, so not much point in wasting them. I think we just Tamiyo and then flip Tamiyo and start plussing. That gives us a turn. We can't get our life any lower right now. There's nothing to Dismember. I'm just going to do it. This is an imperfect brainstorm, but like we're basically racing against the clock. If they can get this into their graveyard somehow, this Atraxa, the game's over. Okay, Street Wraith is great. So I'm going to put this back. I don't think it's going to matter. They have so many lands and they can go more. It is interesting they have a tropical island here. I'm not sure what that's for. I'm going to put back the Dismember just because if they like thoughtseize it out of my hand, then I can't deal with their guy. And I'm so low that they may be able to race me. Yeah, we'll do that. And the next turn we'll fetch, we'll shock. We'll go really low on life as Marco Montani intends. By the way, shout out to the Death Shadow Discord. Like a lot of people have been iterating on this. It's not just Marco Montani, the master himself, but there are lots of other people that have been creating lists over the years. And I don't know if Marco Montani listens to any of those people or cares about what they say when he sculpts his lists, but it is cool to like read about their thoughts. Okay, here's the Animate Dead. So far, everything is proceeding as we predicted. All right, so math time. Yeah, I knew that was there. So Dismember for full value kills this. We could shock in another land. Okay, that basically gets us down to like 5, and then Street Wraith. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can go to 4. Oh my goodness, this is freaking crazy. What if this fails? Okay, I want to start with. I don't think it's possible for them to have drawn 2 dazes, so I am going to go ahead and just full price. No, I'm going to play this out first. We're going to dismember this. Make sure it's dead first before we do anything. If they have force, pitch. Okay, so we're taking 4. That's pretty catastrophic. Fetch. Gosh, now can I even afford to fetch? Okay, so I'm going to take 5. No, I'm going to take 4. If I stay at the current life total, I can survive. So I can't go any lower. They swing. This Death Shadow gets more powerful. We swing. They swing again, and then we kill them. And they may be inclined to swing at Tamiyo. All right, I think that's the line. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to plus here. Well, let's Shadow first. And I'm just going to plus. Now, if they attack Tamiyo, which is, I think, the smart thing to do, then we can surprise them with like a whole lot of damage. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. Gosh, this is freaking nerve-wracking. I mean, we're on the play. The fact that they had the force, they pitched Atraxa for that, so let's go ahead and get rid of some of these cards. They have like a Brazen Borrower. That could be bad. What is this? Uro. It's fine. We can just push it out of the way. They gain some life. So this is why they're playing green. They're going to play out another land? Do they opt to hold a land there? No, there's the Wasteland. Okay. So they're still pretty far from being able to... They are attacking Tamiyo. That's fine. I can't block. So Uro gives them enough life that they can potentially survive. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? They're wasting there. Okay, let's think. So we're going to plus Tamiyo, and then they're going to be able to swing and kill her. If we get our life total, we can't go below 4. Otherwise, we die. I can't buy back the Dismember, unfortunately. Maybe buying back. Oh, you know what? I could have bought back Dismember last turn. That would have been better. That was definitely a line that was available to me. I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't do that. Okay, so all right, let's go to our turn. Wasteland, pretty bad. I mean, we can keep them from bringing back Uro, which I think is good. I think I want to go ahead. We're not going to be able to deal lethal damage. I am going to, if I take them off, yeah, I'm going to take them off this. I'm not going to think too much about it. I just want to, this can deal with Uro if Uro comes out, but I don't think Uro's coming out. They haven't played out their island, so we know their hand is like island, one unknown. If they swing for 4, they're neglecting Tamiyo. I want to go lower in life. Let's go ahead and do this. Again, like, you may be shouting at me from the comments like, oh, that's not a good play. Don't do that, you know, but I'm kind of trusting my instincts here. 6, let's put it in play. Yes, let's pay the life. Now we're swinging for 9. We're going to need to swing 3 times, though. Let's go ahead and hit. We can go... If they do any damage to themselves, we can play this Watery Grave. And then... No, that still wouldn't be enough, right? Let's see what they do here. I think they're going to probably take out Tamiyo. Oh, wait, we're at 4. They can just attack and kill us. Yeah, and they ripped the Metamorphosis Fanatic. That was so bad. I'm so bad at this. Okay, let's try again. Yeah. They were going to bring back Uro and get some life and stuff like that. Yeah, that was loose. All right, I'm going to tighten up. Thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so in this matchup, I think it used to be that like Reanimator would have a fair kind of juke that they would do. I don't think that's the case. Right now, I think what we need to do is bring in our anti-graveyard stuff. Stuff out is not good against their deck. Almost all their creatures are black. That's an easy cut. Fatal Push is also not spectacular against their deck. Dismember is pretty good. I mean, this is really the Troll is really the reason you play Dismember, that and Magus of the Moon. I kind of like bringing in Bowmasters because it can put some additional bodies on the table that we can use. Like if we get enough bodies, we can potentially profitably block. Yeah. All right, let's try this. Yeah, I didn't think about putting myself to 4 life. That was embarrassing. All right. Oh, because I was like, oh, well, they're priced into attacking the Tamiyo. This is like a kind of tunnel vision thing that happened to me. Okay, so this is cowardly, but I'm going to fetch the island again, and then I'm going to spell bomb. And we're just going to... That way we're at least getting spell bomb out around... Well, the other option is we wait a turn, and we just Tamiyo. I think that's fine, because we can create some value. They're not going to go off turn 1. It's always turn 2 that they do something. Because... unless they have like Petal in their deck or something like that, it is a 2-mana combo. So they are a Wasteland deck, and I'm going to respect that, and I'm going to get the island. I don't know how people can, like, I just don't have the appetite for playing my only mana producing card as a non-basic. Like this is precisely the kind of situation where you want to have an island in your deck, in my humble opinion. So already I'm corrupting the all-in intensity of Marco Watani. I think this is Daze because we don't want to have them take our spell bomb. It also preserves information, and Orcish Spellmasters going to our yard could be bad. Let's see if they Daze back. If they Daze back and we can get some connections with Tamiyo, we at least build up a stockpile of clues. I don't know that the game's going to go long. I am going to Street Wraith first. Now I can attack and flip Tamiyo. I think that's worth doing. And you may be like, but what about the Nile Spellbomb? What if they combo you? They have to have exactly Entomb and Reanimate and another land in their hand. And yes, it's certainly possible that they have that. If I flip her, though, and she starts going to Value Town, that's so good for us. I'm going to take the Daze. Yeah, I think Daze is good here. Just in case they have exactly what I said. And this also protects Tamiyo. I'm not sure what they could have, like a Brazen Borrower or something. I would definitely want to keep her in play. Their deck is not good. See, this is why you play basic islands. We would be completely screwed right now if we didn't have that basic island in our deck. I'm just going to play this. I'm going to plus her. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Yeah, I'll do it like that. They can waste me if they want to. I'm not going to go after the mana. It's a trap. They're forcing this. That is unfortunate. We know that at least one of our cards is not a Force of Will. Maybe we can get them to interact if we Brainstorm. We are going off of days on their spells by doing this. Okay, they are entombing here. If we daze this, then we could rip a Force of Will we're not gonna. They could just pay for this. I think this is a bad days. Yeah, this is a bad days. Okay, they've got the Archon in the yard, which will take care of Tamiyo. Okay, we didn't get where we need to go. I think we're just dead, assuming they have a third land to pay for days on the animate dead, if they're even animating dead here. Bowmasters isn't useful here. Death Shadow isn't useful here. Okay, so since they stopped that, and we're likely going to lose her, it may make sense to go ahead and buy back something that we can use next turn. I think it's unlikely that... Okay, so let's talk about what could happen here. We daze their reanimation effect. They're down to 3 cards. They did pitch an Atraxa there. If for some reason, by some miracle, we're able to daze that, then we have value. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually maybe spook them by grabbing a second daze, even though I can only use 1. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to plus here. Yeah, because we can still potentially win if we can stall them out. They may not have more than 1 reanimation effect. But again, it's all contingent on them not having a daze and them not having a third land, which even though they only play like 16 lands or something, they always have a third land. It's so rare that they don't. They may think like, oh, why didn't they regrow the daze? Okay, this ponder's fine. This does mean that we're going to be able to potentially daze unless they find specifically reanimate. I'm going to waste the heck out of their mana base if we get a turn. Okay, Troll. So they are going to get another land. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to waste, and then we're going to plus, and we're going to daze whatever their reanimation effect is. So they got an Underground Sea. They can play it out. Okay, they're not doing anything here. So I'm just going to waste both of their Underground Seas. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to my second main, burn this off. If this is another Entomb, that's fine. We are in the business of stopping. So we may be able to Tamiyo Armageddon next turn. Oh man, this is intense. I'm not going to brainstorm or anything. I'm just going to hold up this daze because I need to be able to daze back. Okay, they did find a land. It's an ETB tap land. We draw half our deck. Hopefully we draw enough forces that we can deal with this. Hopefully we deal in... I'm going to draw and try to waste them immediately. Wow, this is intense. Let's draw. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm just going to waste. Because I don't think they're going to be able to find another card. We now have... Let's take a look at our hand. We did draw Surgical. We drew a Force. Drew a Thoughtseize. I'm trying to think of... Is there anything we want to do with our mana here? Next turn we can put the Shadow in play. Or we can just put a Giant Merc in play. We have enough stuff in our graveyard. I'll probably put a Shadow so I can protect. Maybe I'll start Thoughtseizing them. I think we have this game. I'm just trying to think of like... angles. Like, is there anything... I think we just chill and pass. They're down to 3 cards in hand. They have no lands. I'm not going to sweat too much. We still have our Tamiyo to plus. So I'm going to kind of sort while they're playing. Okay, they found yet another Troll. That sucks because they can go get a Swamp now. They did get a Swamp, so we're not going to be able to waste them. Okay, I'm just going to continue sorting my deck real quick. It is very time intensive sorting it. Actually, wait, can I do this? I can see my whole deck now. Okay, I'm just going to play like that. I hope that's not awkward, but that just makes it so much easier to see what options I have available. Put all my counter magic over here. Yeah, I'm going to start doing this more often because we got quadruple Thoughtseize. That's really good. We don't have a Swamp to get, so like whatever land we play is going to get wasted, but that's okay. Plus... let's see. Do we even have any more under... Oh, I actually played it. I was just trying to move it around. Yes, I am going to pay the life. So I think the first thing we do is probably just Thoughtseize them. We're going to take it slow. Take their reanimation out of their hand. Any like creatures that they might be able to play. They have a Murderous Cut, which is worth noting. I think I'll just take this Animate Dead. And then next turn, we'll take the Murderous Cut. I don't think we do anything else. We do have lots of... we can get our left total low enough. I'm just going to Surgical it. So that was their draw for turn. We would be dead right now if we didn't have like all this. Their Archon. We know they don't have a blue card to go with their Force. Okay. I'll I will click the Archon right now because I don't want to forget to do that. Okay, their deck does play Carpet. They've got Beanstalk in here. Interesting list. Okay, I don't have time to really think more than that. Let's just go ahead and let them finish their turn. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just play another one of these out. I'm not going to think. Yes, I'd like to pay the life. I'm going to thoughtseize first. Get the Murderous Cut out of their hand. Then I'm just going to start dropping shadows. And I just want to make sure we have time. If I'm using the Tamiyo ultimate route next game, I want to make sure I have enough time to finish. Because, I mean, you shouldn't really be going to time with a tempo deck like this. And we're keeping up Daze Protection mana, like, just in case. It is worth noting that we only have one force, and they have a force. So we could get in a situation where we could lose. I don't know how that would happen. I think instep, I'll probably just cycle. They're attempting to reanimate a troll. I'm just going to daze this. And then we still have force up and everything. At this point, they're just playing to our clock, basically. Like, just getting us out of time, which is totally fine. That's a legit thing you can do. I don't have any forces in my yard. I'm just going to regrow. Well, now that I drew the... I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to play this out. Guess I'll pay the life. They're dead in 3 swings currently. I'll just cycle this. No, wait. I can thoughtseize the force out of their hand. I could just play a second Death Shadow just in case they draw removal. Okay, let's go ahead and attack for 10 here. They're not going to be able to kill me here. Do I have daze? I do have a daze. So there's not really any point in regrowing anything. I'm just going to pass. They have to draw a reanimate effect, which we have covered, and then we just attack them again. Should have been really easy to win after Tamiyo, and it was, but okay. Threaded the needle. That felt great. Let's see how we do against the best deck in the format. Game 3. So do we change anything knowing that they are playing Carpet? I don't really think so. I think we keep these dazes. I mean, Daze was an all-star there. Like, it protected us. Shield's Edict is a way to kill a resolved. If Uro resolves, we're losing anyway. Like, if it comes back. Yeah, I'm not going to make any changes. Let's go. 8:08 on the clock. It's a great drum machine. I am going to shuffle this no-lander. I'm not going to hope that Streetwraith will draw us a land. 17 land problems. This works. This has force. I'm going to put back the Bowmaster. I think it's like not the most impactful card in the matchup. We want lots of interaction because we need to bridge till the mid-game. All right. I am kind of tempted to go get an island just because, well, no, I don't think it's necessary. I'm going to go ahead and go for this Nile Spell Bomb and just hope. I'll force. They're entombing here. That's fine since we have a Nile Spell Bomb coming. We'll just force to fight over Entomb. They put Atraxa in the bin. Watery Grave. I would like to pay the life. Spell Bomb. I can easily daze to protect this. They want to fight over it. All right, we're in. We're not going to get to the 2-for-1, unfortunately. But we are going to stop the reanimation effect if that's what they go for. They may try to get rid of this. I'm not sure how. Beanstalk. That is a daze. This card's really powerful. Even I don't know exactly what their deck does, but I didn't take time to look at their deck in detail because I was worried about clock pressure. All right, I think we just Watery Grave it again, and we stay untapped. Now we have the ability to wipe their graveyard and draw a card, which is nice. I didn't check to see if they were playing beans. Okay, I'm going to float. And we're just going to... I should have floated black. Okay. Doesn't really matter because they would have just burned it off either way. I'm going to force this. I will hang on to... I'll hang on to the Brainstorm because it gives me the possibility of shuffling back. No, we're not going to shuffle back lands because we're down to 2 lands. I'm going to keep the Ponder. This may seem weird, like, why are you going after the Beanstalk? But we have the graveyard covered. Like, their mid-rangey plan is threatening. Thoughtseize is a great rip. I'm just going to do it. In case they're, slow rolling a reanimation effect. They have a Borrower in their hand or something like that. I want to rip it. There we go. That is what we don't want to deal with. They have an Archon in their hand, which sucks for them. Yeah. Live by the giant reanimatable monsters, die by the giant reanimatable monsters. Their hand is... Here's the Ponder that we know they have. Their deck doesn't seem to be good at just getting a tiny creature in that can win. So taking the Brazen Borrower also kind of thwarted that plan because Brazen Borrower is a legit threat against our deck. I'm going to go ahead and play this out, and we're going to see what we rip first before we consider shuffling. I mean, Shadow is a 1-drop here. I think we don't want the days. I could take either one of these. Murktide is not fatal pushable. Murktide would be a 6/6. Death Shadow could potentially be much larger. I think we actually take the Shadow here, and maybe we keep the Murktide just as a backup. We may have to crack this to draw. We've already played our land for turn. I mean, what are the odds that they drew a daze? I'm not going to walk Death Shadow into a daze and shuffle away my Murktide. I think that'd be greedy. Okay, they're not doing anything. I'm going to play this out. Ouchie. I'm going to play this. I'm going to overload them with threats. Let's do this. This is also a blocker, so one of our creatures can go in if necessary. Blue, blue. You're going to daze this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Troll cycling. So they can basically just have so many cards in their graveyard that, I mean, if they try to bounce this, I have to activate it. But they're going to maybe be dead next turn, depending on what we draw. Okay. Undercity Sewers. Got lots of mana. Like a Uro could come out, but they don't have double green. I'm not a huge fan of Uro right now. I think I've talked about this in a lot of my videos. Okay. So this gets the fourth. No, wait. The fourth shock is already in the yard. So we could just get... Maybe we hold this to preserve information rather than deal an extra damage. Let's think about this. So we're hitting for 15. There's not really any advantage because this has been wasted. So I'm just going to hit with everything. If they flash in a borrower, that's okay. Like it's not going to kill us. But if we get greedy, they might find a way to like string together a win. Okay, land. Beanstalk is going to resolve. Murktide of their own would be pretty bad. Actually, it wouldn't be as big as ours, I don't think. And it'd be a force block on the Shadow. Okay, I think we won. They can't both bounce with borrower. Okay, now I'm going to play this out. We're still 1 away. But we could draw a card off Nile Spellbomb that allows us to force. Murderous Cut, triggering the Beanstalk. Okay, how dangerous is it to wipe their graveyard? They have an Archon of Cruelty in their hand. Do we care? They're just drawing 1 card. They're cutting this, but they're dead to the Murktide. I'm worried that somehow they do get another turn, like that they have a borrower in their hand, and then they're able to turn the corner. They're going to draw a card either way. Let's just see what they draw, and then we can interact. Okay, Death Shadow's dead. They could reanimate Death Shadow next turn, which would be scary. Okay, they're fetching to 3. If they have a Brazen Borrower, we are going to have to Nile Spellbomb to YOLO draw. Okay, we did it. Wow. Starting off with the win feels amazing. Again, especially after punting game 1. Not that we were like in a good position or anything. We were definitely in a scary position, but that felt great. Like just being able to put those 2 giant threats and just be like, deal with it. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're 1-0 against an unknown opponent. We keep these double force hand with double blue card. We can go ahead and shock and play Tamiyo, or we can, I mean, if we just play Island Tamiyo, we don't give much of our game plan away. You know what? If they're on Oops All Spells, I'll feel dumb that I played this out and we were not able to double force. What are the odds that they're on Oops All Spells? We'll see how they mulligan. If they mulligan aggressively, then I'm going to hold this for a turn cycle. Okay. I think we're safe to just Tamiyo. And I'm going to Island Tamiyo like a coward because it is a line available to us. Don't worry. We're going to shock ourselves plenty later. It's not like we have Death Shadows in our hand. Murktide will be the pitch to force, just depending on what they use, if we have to force something. Tundra. Do we want to stop this? I think we just let it go. I'm going to waste their Tundra. Street Wraith. Let's hurt ourselves. Sorry. By the way, I'm going to be saying stuff like that throughout the league because that's the theme of the deck. If you are feeling any sort of desire for self-harm or any sort of like suicidal ideations or anything like that, please don't do it. Don't even think about that stuff. Just get some help. Call the hotline and know that your loved ones would not want you to do that, and your friends and everybody. Nobody wants you to do that. Okay, so now that I've caveated that, I am going to mention that a few times during the thing just because that's the theme of the deck. Sorry. Okay, so I think what we do here is we just waste and we pass. We get more information about what they're playing. They could be on a number of different decks. If they don't have another white source, they do. Okay, this could be Dreadnought, which happens to deal exactly 12 damage when it attacks, which is exactly the amount of damage. Okay, so they could still think we're on Doomsday. So that is kind of an asset. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to like preserve that illusion because nobody's playing Death Shadow. It's like of the past 2 weeks there's one list total. I think I am going to go for this because they seem to be hurting for land and we can force to protect. And this is a way of like chipping in. So we are going to have to reveal our true nature. But I just want to snipe this. Like this is not like a huge blow. I don't think they're playing their own Bowmasters. So when you think they're playing their own Bowmasters, you do want to hold your Bowmaster. I think that Wasteland was clutch though. Like I don't think they were ready for that. We'll see whether they shuffle this. If they shuffle this, this means they are probably looking for land. But I think this is the queen we protect this game. They didn't shuffle, so they probably found land here. We'll see whether they play land next. I mean, like, there's no reason you would keep that if you didn't find a land. All right. I'm going to start by playing this out. I am going to pay the life. I want to get my life low. I know that I am putting myself into the breach as far as... but we have plenty of interaction. If they get a Dreadnought on the table, we can borrow it. We have double force up. We may be able to just stop their interaction and beat them down with this. Because a lot of blue decks, like they have a minimum of 8 cantrips in their deck generally. And then they may have other things that draw cards like Null Drifter. Force will pitch a Murktide probably. Because Murktide does just die to plow. And we've already seen that they're a plow deck. Okay, so they're on 4-color beans. 5-color beans, it looks like. This is a very important card. We're going to protect the queen. We're not going to do anything but keep this in play. I will literally pitch my entire hand to keep Bowmasters in play. Again, let's go ahead and swing in. I will let Beanstalk resolve. I'll let everything resolve except for removal on Bowmaster. They're passing without play. I can't help but think that they have a lot of card draw in their hand. Drawing more bricks, which will be fine if we find a Brainstorm. If they fetch here, they're going to 7. We're very close to winning. Like, they can't really draw cards. Dress down. I think we force this because this does shut off our Bowmasters and it also enables them to use their cantrips. And we could always borrow the thing out of the way if they try to cast a Brainstorm, and that would be cheeky. I think the simplest thing to do, though, is to just force this. They force back, I'll force back. They may be able to take care of the Bowmaster, but then they'll also have to deal with the Arc Army. Yeah, okay, great. We're going to be able to continue to apply pressure here. They dropped to 7. Getting a Hedge Maze for some selection. They are playing a very brittle mana base. Unfortunately, we can't really exploit that. We're not playing Harbinger of the Sea because the curve is so low on this deck and we're playing so few lands. That's also the reason why I took out the Plague Engineer. I understand that Marco Montani thinks it's good, but like for me, Plague Engineer, you just can't really get away with it. Oh, is this like a Veil or something? What are they doing here? Beanstalk, please, Beanstalk. Yes, by all means. And now, even if they cast something like a Leyline Binding, they are going to trigger the Beanstalk in the process. One cool thing about Leyline Binding is if you bounce it out of play with the ability on the permanent never actually leaves the table, so we can keep the Orc Army on the table if they attempt a Leyline Bind. Okay, they're going to 5. Okay, they're getting back Plow. All right. Now they draw Plow. We force. They could force back. Okay. Now they have to decide whether they want which one they want to plow. If they give us a draw, that's a mistake. Which one? They're targeting the Bowmaster itself. The problem with forcing this is they could force back. If they force back, they draw a trigger and then they're dead. They're not. Yeah, they are dead because the token will grow. Okay, they are drawing. So we're going to poke them. Our token will grow and then we'll be able to attack for lethal. Unless they have yet another, free removal spell or like a Dismember or something. Wow. Yep. Orcish Bowmaster's getting it done against Beanstalk. I've been on the other side of that at Eternal Weekend 2023. I played basically what they're playing. And yeah, I ran into a lot of Bowmasters there. It was hard. Okay, so Engineered Explosives is legit here. Well, Bowmaster. We're bringing in the third Bowmaster. That's easy. I think Death Shadow is pretty weak here. Like, this is basically like the poster boy for why you don't want to play Death Shadow. Because you run into these decks and they have plows. They have so 4 plow, probably 4 Leyline Binding, and maybe some Prismatic Endings as well, and maybe Terminus. I mean, it's like rough. It is rough. So I'm just gonna cut all our spot removal. That's easy. I think we cut the Snuff out. Like, we just assume that if Murktide comes out, it comes out. Borrower can deal with it. Borrower's a threat, and it pitches the force. I'm not going to take out the Death Shadow here because we're doing this for science. I am going to bring in Murktide, Force. I think Hydroblast could come in. We did see red, and they could be playing. Actually, I'll bring in 1 Hydroblast, but I think I'm going to bring in 2 Engineered Explosives to blow up their various cards that are annoying. I mean, obviously you can blow up a Bowmaster, which is very much closing the door after the horses have already run away. I think the big card that we need to be able to stop is Carpet. And they probably play 4 Carpet or 3 Carpet. Like, I played 3 Carpet. Did I play 4 Carpet at Eternal Weekend? It was insane the entire weekend. Like, every tempo matchup I just destroyed. And I had a positive record at the end of 11 rounds, even though it was my first Eternal Weekend, thanks largely to the power of Carpet. So I imagine our opponent's playing Carpet. I'm going to keep my Daisies in. Now Spellbomb does keep checks both the Uro and maybe we do this because it checks Uro and it's like we draw through it. I think it's fine. I hope I'm not abusing Engineered Explosives. Marco may have put this in explicitly for Chalice. But I think that Carpet is so strong that you want to have a way to remove it. And it could be that that's just a dead draw. Okay, this is a Thoughtseize hand. I'm not expecting Wasteland out of them. I think Thoughtseize is really powerful against this deck. I'm going to keep. We're not going to get much better than this. So we're going to Thoughtseize and take their Beanstalk. That is what we're going to attempt to do here. We'll do some damage to ourselves here. Wasteland. We're always going to pay the life, I think, unless we're in like absolute dire straits on our back foot. Okay, the Brainstorm. I could just daze this. Yeah, I want to take their Beanstalk. I could just daze the Beanstalk itself, but this denies them draws. And this gives us lots of information. They do indeed have up the Beanstalk. And I think that is the take. All these other cards, we'll have to work through them. They have basics. They're not going to be able to Leyline Binding anytime soon. But Prismatic Ending, Plow, those are very live for us. I may just have to work through them with Tamiyo. Yeah, I'm going to take this, and then what we're going to do is next turn, we're going to Watery Grave, we're going to Ponder. We're not going to play the Tamiyo out until we can do the Brainstorm trick to protect her. They only have 1 instant speed removal. I feel very good about that because they could have found a fetch and shuffled away the Leyline Binding because it's like, I mean, that will be, something that matters later, but it's not going to be anything that matters soon. We're going to Shock. We're going to keep the momentum with a Ponder. We're trying to find another blue source so that we can do the Tamiyo trick. We do find it. We also find another Tamiyo. Tamiyo is going to hopefully draw their initial fire, and then they're going to hopefully burn the Prismatic Ending, removing it, and then Death Shadows start coming in. I'm feeling confident about this game plan, even though they have lots of removal. Swords to Plowshares against Death Shadow is like, we call it Swords to Plague Wind, because it just destroys all our creatures. If you plow a single shadow, the life total goes up, so the other shadows die too. Okay. Now we have to ask, do we want to take a turn off to get rid of this land? I don't think we do. I think I'm going to play this out. And I'm just going to play out a Tamiyo. And now I can do the Brainstorm trick. Next turn, I'll waste the non-blue, non-white lands because those get closer to domain. Like if they play I'll waste that. If they actually let me get to attack and I start creating clues, that's favorable for us. We're getting the MTGO spinner. Come on, MTGO. All right. They did let us... it looks like they're going to let us go to attacks. See, they do have the ability to... I'm going to go ahead and do this now. They have a narrow window in which they can Leyline Bind. They do have the mana. and then we'll brainstorm, and then they'll have to use another card. Now they're going to respond with a Leyline Binding. Oh, they're not. Interesting. Okay, well, we can just take their other removal from their hand. I don't think Daze is good anymore. Second Tamiyo is definitely a maybe. I think we can put Brazen Borrow back. I think second Tamiyo might actually be good because we're just trying to overload their removal here. Oh, wow. Okay, well, that was very good for us. I think they're going to Leyline Bind here. Maybe I should have kept the Daze. That was dumb. If I keep the Daze, I can stop the... Okay, well, they didn't do it. Interesting. Okay, let's plus this. We burned off their black here, or their green. I'm going to go ahead and go for this. I'm going to try to take the ending here. Okay, their hand is ending Xander's Lounge. Xander's Lounge does let them Leyline Bind next turn. Let's see, yeah, because they'll have 4 types. Yeah, I think there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to take the value. We can borrow it back. We can borrow it back and get Tamiyo back. That'll be annoying for them. Okay. Let's go ahead and pass. We're at 10, so we can start hitting them with this Death Shadow. Okay, it looks like they're going to go ahead and Leyline Bind here. Yeah, so this is like a no value Leyline Binding. I don't really want to bounce this back to their hand. So we're going to draw the Borrower. I think we can just shock lower. We can put out a Death Shadow and we can shock lower. I think I'm going to go ahead and both Tamiyo and Death Shadow here. Because like their hand is just one unknown. We can make Death Shadow larger. And then if they plow this, if they somehow find a plow, or if they like Mystic Sanctuary to put a plow on top and then draw the plow and then use it to remove the... We can shock lower and we can play the second one. Okay, they do have the second Leyline Binding, which is okay. We're just going to let this resolve. They have one card that's unknown. This is fine. I am going to go ahead and shock here. I do want to be lower in life. Their deck cannot win quickly unless they happen to find a Murktide, in which case we're screwed. No, we have a Brazen Bar for that. I'll just hold. I'm going to pay the life. Okay, another Watery Grave. I'm just going to shock. This might be bad. Maybe I shouldn't be so aggressive about this. I'm going to go ahead and attack just in case they happen to have drawn interaction for Tamiyo. Shadow. So we could, in theory, bounce this so they tap out, and then we have... we could instep bounce this, and then we could attack for a ton. Well, I'm going to activate here in response. So this, like, Narset is not the worst. Ponder sucks for us now. Yeah, we're going to have to... I think I am going to actually take a turn off to attack Narset so I can use this Ponder. Feels bad. They did not reveal. They whiffed. That's crazy good luck for us. Unless I'm misreading the log. Yeah, wow. So we're getting like a free lunch on Narset, which is insane for us. We're not going to get an E up to 6, unfortunately. There aren't 6 colors. All right, let's go ahead and just attack Narset. By Narset. It's like the equivalent of somebody like jumping on, like, haha. And then like, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction? The scene where the guy fires all the bullets and like, he's like so excited, like, yeah, I got the upper hand on you. And then next thing you know, they're like standing around looking at the wall and like, oh, he completely missed. All right, so do we need another Death Shadow? I think Murktide diversifies our threats a little bit. Let's see. We do have a full-size Murktide. At our current life total, though, Murktide being plowed will kill Death Shadow as well. Not if we take the Street Wraith first. Actually, I'm going to just take all these. I'll take the Street Wraith first. Because we're almost certainly going to want to just crack this. Instep. Oh, I could have freaking flipped her. I mean, maybe she's better not flipped because she's drawing us extra cards. I don't know. That seems like copium to use a term the kids use. Okay, let's go ahead and attempt to draw. Let's see if they have a Hull Breacher in their deck. Another Leyline. This is fine. They should go after Death Shadow, I think. That is fine. I will take Leylines over Plows any day because we need to keep our life total low. Okay, so there's a Shadow. We could Shadow and Murk in the same turn. But again, like if we make a full-size Murk and they plow... Oh, no, it's not an issue if we have Street Wraith. I'm going to go ahead and attack. I think I am going to flip her. Let's see what we rip off the Shadow, off the Street Wraith. I think it is an unknown card. I'm trying to think if there's anything in their deck that can kill us from 3 life. I don't think there is. Okay, thoughtseize is great. That does put us to 1, which means we can't force anymore. I don't think we'd do that. Yeah, and this is where an expert as Shadow might have been like, well, you should have brought that into the play tapped. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Shadow, and I'm going to flip her just to be able to attack on another angle. Okay, we ripped a land here. We can go get an island. That would put us to 2, but it does give us the ability to Brazen Borrower and step and get a second Shadow, which will be lethal if they tap out. Hopefully they tap out for like Uro or something. They're not doing it. They're not doing what I want them to do because they can just recast this for basically 2 mana. They can just have the Leyland back. So yeah, I'm going to just chill here. I'm not going to fetch. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that does give us thoughtseize now, at least. That sucks though. I guess we're going to come in with the Murktide. I don't think there's anything to be done here. Okay, we did draw Force, which is nice. We do have life to play with. I'm going to go ahead and thoughtseize them. Just take their last card. It's a Force. Okay, great. Now, I think we can start going to Flavor Town. I think that's fine. And I am going to go ahead and drop this Merc. He'll be pretty beefy. We do have a blue card to pitch to Force in a very scary situation. MTGO is taking up more of my clock here. Just trying to resolve a Murktide. My opponent's probably like, man, how long does it take this guy to resolve his Murktide? Come on, MTGO. Okay. Blue. Okay. One of these days, MTGO will let me finish. I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had the best record of all time. Or one of the best music videos of all time, I think is what Kanye said there. All right, when he was taking the stage away from Taylor Swift. Epic moment in, trash celebrity culture. Okay, land for turn. I think we are in really good position because not only are we threatening Tamiyo Ultimate here with Force backup. Yeah. Murktide, Armageddon. Do we want to... I think we do want a Tamiyo Ultimate here. I think it would be silly not to. Swing for 8. I mean, I could like regrow and do extra damage and get it back at thoughtseize, but there's not really anything that we need to do. We just need to force whatever the next spell is and we win. And we can even hardcast Force because we don't have to worry about days. Style on them a little bit with my fancy hardcast Force. All right. You don't have to keep playing. All right, great. We won. We're 2-0. Wow. This is by far the best Death Shadow has ever treated me. I'm excited. See you in round 3. Right. Round 3. We're up against a likely Eldrazi player. They only play Eldrazi. I mean, this doesn't have a clock, but gosh, we're going to do so much damage to ourselves. This is crazy. I think this is a keep, and we're just going to take their turn 1 play, and yeah, man, this is going to be brutal. Like they play Chalice. They play a lot of scary stuff. And here we are dealing damage to ourselves. Also, they have like Eldrazi spawn, and those can like block forever. Like if they get like a glaring Fleshraker out, then they can just create these spawns that chump Death Shadow all day long. It's pretty terrifying. So Murktide is probably the best win con here. But I'm not putting back a hand like this, like that has Thoughtseize, double Brainstorm, like Daze. If they're not on Eldrazi, this is an insane hand. Oh, wow. Leyline, main deck. Okay, so we might be up against... so Murktide is actually not a good card here. Yes, I'd like to pay that mana. And yes, I would like to rip their hand. Let's shred those thoughts. Okay, Curses. Chalice is a pretty obvious take here. I mean, Curse of Misfortunes costs a lot of mana, but it does end the game pretty quickly. Because they can just go... But we can Daze that. I'm going to take the Chalice here, and I don't think it's close. I mean, we could technically bounce it out of the way, but it would be a total pain over time. We are going to win off Death Shadow here. They're not going to be able to keep up with it. Okay, they went ahead and played out this instead of the Swamp, which I think is a questionable play. Like, why not just lead with Swamp? Okay, there's the Shadow. We can't get it live yet. Let's see. If we can find a Street Wraith, we might be able to get it out this turn. And I do want to go fast here, especially since they played the removal out. I want to keep Force... Bowmasters is not great here. I like Double Daze. I think that's fine. Borrower does like deal with like if they do have something brutal that they play like the Helm, we can just bounce it right back to hand, and that's pretty good. We don't want to bounce Leyline back because they get Chrome Mox, also because we don't really care about it that much. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to put back... I think it's better to put back the second daze than to put back... Well, I mean, they are pretty gated on mana, and it's possible we could get multiple back-to-back dazes, and that also does allow us to shock ourselves. Maybe we do put back Force. I hope it doesn't sound insanely greedy here. Marco Montani, if you're watching this, am I a fool? All right. We're just going to go ahead and get our land now. Yes. We're so close to being able to get the shadow out. Yeah, I think we just chill. There is the risk that they draw like a Bowmasters. I would love to be able to daze something just to get this back to my hand so I can deal damage more rapidly. All right. Looks like we're going to get the window. Yeah, Chalice. No, thank you. All right. And now I'm kind of wishing we had a Force just because, well, Wasteland would be great. Oh, we did have a Force. That's insane. Okay, that's precisely what we wanted to draw. We did fetch there. That wasn't me like forgetting what was on top of our deck. We just got lucky and we found the Force. So very good that we stopped the Chalice that stops our Death Shadow. I'm just going to play this out and we'll have lots of options up. We could in-step Brainstorm potentially. I'd love to daze again and just shock again. That's fine. What is it going to be? Another Leyline. Okay. Dark Ritual. Okay, this is going to be a daze on Curse of Misfortunes, which is going to be a blowout, to say the least. This is a 5-mana spell. They are Hellbent. We will slurp this. I've been using that verb a lot lately. I hope that's not too gross. They are looking pretty dead. Freaking insane. Not a single... It's a $300 deck or something. $400. They could just rip another Curse, but I want to end the game. I mean, if they get Curse out, we just bounce it. It's not like it's that big of a deal. And we can hit their Felmire next turn. Probably drawing like Moxen and stuff like that. Like these decks are like terrible. They don't have any... Again, I don't mean any shade or anything, but like terrible top decks is what I mean to say. Like, speaking of terrible top decks, we have a terrible top deck against them as well. Like, here, we'll hit that. Now we're just going to come in for a hug. The Death Hug. But like when you play these types of stompy decks where you're playing Chrome Mox and you're playing like main deck Leyline of Void and stuff like that, your average draw is just so atrocious. Even if they have a Curse of Misfortunes now, they can cast it, but we can force it. Yeah, I'm just going to chill. I'll brainstorm during my turn after I draw to get deeper into the deck. We're not in a hurry. Again, their top decks are terrible. There is a trick where you can dismember yourself to do more damage because the Death Shadow will survive the dismember. It's just weaker. I'm not sure that I want to do that play. That play has always seemed kind of like a desperation move. Like it's okay. What is this? Fell the Profane. What if we didn't? Okay. All right. I think we waste this just to, I mean, they're a big mana deck. They're a stompy deck. We can put back these two cards. Well, I'll keep the Dismember in hand just in case I need it. And I'll put this back since I'm going to waste this turn. We could up our clock, but I think it's fine to just slow them down a little bit. So we don't have Brazen Borrower. If they do manage to somehow get a Curse of Misfortune, this is impossible. We don't need to plan for that contingency. The most powerful thing they can do is just remove my Death Shadow. Okay, good. We won. All right, I think this... So Bowmaster comes out. It's terrible against this deck. I think Murktide comes out. Like they're a main deck Leyline deck. We are cutting really thin on win cons though if we do that. They may be a stompy deck. I think Force of Negation comes in for sure. Yeah, I mean literally like the win cons are Street Wraith and Death Shadow now. I'm going to take out all my removal. I think literally all the removal comes out. I don't know that they play any creatures. I think I'll bring it back in the Bowmasters just as a win con. It's a very slow win con, but it also insulates this if they're playing cards like Children's Edict. Consign. I mean, if they're playing Helm, this is an answer to that. It can stop the trigger on what's it called? Curse of Misfortunes, so that we don't have to endure curses. It can save us a turn cycle where we would otherwise be enduring curses. Be playing Liliana. That's a card I would consider playing. Engineered Explosives seems really good actually because they're on Chalice, and it can also potentially take out constructs. So I think, yeah, I'll do this 2 consigns. Oh, I'm going to take out Dismember as well. Yeah, I'm just going to go full no removal. I genuinely don't think they have any creatures in the deck. I'll be surprised if they do. If their creature is just a Bowmasters, we got that covered. Yeah, I'm going to bring in Consign. Yeah, we'll go all consign because like consign, there are lots of nasty artifacts they can be playing in addition to Helm. Double Street Wraith hand with Death Shadow, Engineered Explosives for Chalice. I think this is a keep. We don't have a force, but we do have a daze. If they just turn one us, we can always cycle to potentially draw a card. Here's the Chalice. Okay, we have an answer. We have it covered in 2 turns. I am going to go ahead and Street Wraith here just to see what we find. They didn't have turn 1 Leyline, which is kind of nice. Okay, so yeah, we just have to chill and hope that our Engineered Explosives go off. If they have like Null Rod, which I can't imagine why they would have that in their deck, but that does stop us. All right, we're going to go full damage mode. Yeah, because I want to be able to play out the Death Shadow immediately after I pop the Engineered Explosives. I want to play the Explosives and pop it the same turn too, just in case they have something that can deal with artifacts. I can't imagine what that would be. It's probably actually a greater risk that they have a discard effect, which just completely wrecks us. I'm just going to play this out. Yeah, because I think discard effects are more likely than, artifact removal in black. We do have days to stop like certain things they might try to do. Okay, wow, they're not doing anything. This is great. So I'm going to go ahead and play out the Watery Grave here. Oh, Brazen Borrower is good. And then I'm going to pay the life. And then we're going to wait till the end step because they might play a second Chalice and we need to like be able to double shadow. We also need to be able to bounce a Curse of Misfortunes. If they like do a bunch of Lotus Petals or Dark Rituals or something to get a Curse of Misfortune out, we want to be able to borrow that out. Urza Saga is in their deck. Okay. So we might want to wait a turn before we pop this because we can get constructs with it. And then they'll be going for Pithing Needle and then we'll just blow up the Chalice then. I think I like that. And then what we can do now is we can just Bowmaster. Start getting our clock going. So I'm definitely bringing in, if there's a game 3, I'm definitely bringing in Dress Down. Okay, more stuff we can't cast. That's all right. What I might do, I don't know if I want to burn a Borrower in this way when they could have subsequent Chalices. But what we could do is bounce the Construct out of hand, out of play in step, just to have less material on the table. I'm not going to do it during my end step. I'll wait till they're going to search. No, we have to pop the Engineered Explosives. That's what we have to do if they search. Because they may have Pithing Needle and that would be devastating. Because this is like not our only answer. There's nothing that is beneficial to bounce out of play. We can't really do anything this turn. Consign to Memory is good. It can be cast around Chalice. If we attack, they make it, we blow this. I mean, this is going to die anyway. I'm going to go ahead and attack with it just to see if we can get a cheeky 1 damage. Maybe they make it now. That's fine. Yep, I'm not going to do anything to save it. It's going to die anyway next turn. I just wanted to see if I get a damage. Every damage counts when you're an aggro deck, essentially, which is what we are. They have to decide whether they want to pass priority. But after I put this on the stack, then they can use it again. So, okay. They're creating the construct. I am popping this, killing the constructs and the Chalice. Now they can search, see what they get. Maybe like a Mox or something. How good was that EE? Retrofitter Foundry is dangerous, for sure. They can start creating tokens. We can borrow it out of play, but it just comes back down for 1. I got soloed by this card the other day. It's really good. Okay, that's fine. I'm still hoping we can daze something here. We have land in our hand. We're standing outside the telephone booth with money in our hand. Another Chalice. We're going to have to borrow this out of play, and then they can just cast it again. Oh, no, this is such a beating. If we find another land, what we can do is we can, consign it when it comes back down. Oh, they have City of Traders too? Okay. Wow. Like, I would have definitely played that just in case I had double days. TXE Enso. If you're watching, like, I think it would be better to play that out just in case I did have double days. Okay, so I'm going to Street Wraith first. I'm hoping to find land. Okay, we found a second daze. But now it's not a good daze because they can just pick it right back up. So we have to end step bounce this, which does mean we're going to have to go to discard, which sucks. What will we discard? But what we're going to do is we're going to be able to double shadow before they close the door. They're going to create a creature here. Is it worth trading with the creature that they create? I don't think this does anything on our board. If we trade, then it's like one less chump that they have later, and they don't currently have the ability to tech it up. I think we trade just for turn, just for tempo. That may seem weird. Okay, they're going to create it, and they may think this was a mistake, but this was very intentional because these things go crazy. Again, I got soloed by this card. Totally soloed. It's a really good card. It's just that you need a big mana strategy in order to... It's really just like an Urza Saga thing. Okay, so let's pitch our... Some of these cards are not going to get cast, unfortunately. I think Brainstorm is probably never going to get... Well, I'm never going to cast this Tamiyo, probably. Let's see. Let's say hypothetically I had a third land. Would I rather cast a Tamiyo or a Brainstorm? What I can do next turn is I can potentially Brainstorm into a land. Yeah, so I'm going to pitch... No, I'm going to pitch the Daze. I think Daze probably doesn't matter at this point. Yeah. All right, here's our window. Boom. Boom. Let's borrow this out. They're down to 2 cards. We could consign it on the way back down. I want to Brainstorm and see what I find. If I find a land, then great. Otherwise, I will have to consign that on the way back down. Oh, these cards are all 1-drops. We have to consign this, and it has to work. If they have a third, we're so screwed because we'll have already used 2 of our 4 ways of dealing with it. Okay, so I'm going to put back this. Let's put these back. Thoughtseize is pretty terrible here. I am so tempted to ponder for a land, but if I whiff, then we're just under the Spectre of Chalice again. And it sucks because they can create a lot of these Thopters and like level them up and stuff here. So it's definitely bad feels. They have like some sort of grave. They're not going to have Thoughtseize because they're a Chalice deck. See, they can untap this and they can do it again if they want to pay the life. And now we just have to fight through this. Okay, so that is going to get consigned. Hopefully they don't have a second one. Okay, and I think they're just going to be on the Thopter plan. They're attacking, which lowers our life total a little bit. Because they have so much mana, like I really want to ponder and find a wasteland to take them off that, like one of those lands at least, like the tomb maybe. If I can find a land, then I can double shadow. Force doesn't do it. I'm not worried. Like, I mean, maybe Force is like the careful take, but I'm not careful. Darn it. Okay, I'm going to ponder again because I genuinely think we can find a land. What the heck? Come on, deck. Okay, well, maybe it's because we're 17 land. Okay, we did find a Force, but we're about to get beaten the heck down by these servos. Watch, they're going to tech this up, and then they can tech it up again next turn. Actually, they can do it now. They can have a 4/4 on the table now. Such a beating. Watch, they're going to tech this into a 4/4, and then they're going to hit us for 4. The good news is next turn, 2 Death Shadows are coming. The bad news is they can just keep producing blockers. They're very broken, not broken, but like very powerful abilities, like Curse of Misfortunes and stuff like that are within casting range as well. All right. I really don't like brainstorming here, but like I feel like if we don't hit another land, they can just create flyers and start killing us that way. I could Tamiyo, flip her, plus her. They would need to create yeah, I think this is the plan here. We're going to Tamiyo. We're going to flip her immediately. We're going to hopefully find a land so we can deploy a shadow. This is a long goodbye on Tamiyo. Can't be countered. Okay, that sucks. I'm glad they didn't do that to my Death Shadow that I'm relying on to block us and keep us alive. Oh, I think we're actually dead here. We're just dead. We don't have the ability to deploy a shadow, unfortunately. Yeah, that was brutal. Freaking Retrofitter Foundry. I mean, they had lots of cards. I don't know what was in their hand. It's not like our deck just failed to come together in terms of producing mana. That was just like us hitting our fail rate, really. Like, we did have things to fight through Chalice. Okay, Dress Down's coming in. I like all these other cards. We are very heavy on 1-drops. We could maybe take out a Tamiyo. Thoughtseize is very important, especially on the play. Consign felt pretty damn good there. I think maybe we bring in the 4th Consign. Tamiyo doesn't win the game. I'd much rather be drawing like consigns and stuff than Tamiyos, considering what their deck is capable of. You can consign the search trigger as well. Like, depending on how many consigns you have, you can potentially completely handle a Urza Saga. This is a Watery Grave start into Thoughtseize. I am loving it. This is absolutely what we keep. See if they have a ley line. They don't. They may just take it out. I mean, their hand might have been a bunch of ley lines last game, actually. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. Okay. They do have Helm, but they don't have the card to go with it. Trinisphere is a pain, but they're so far from using it. We could start working through these long goodbyes. Plague Engineer is good specifically against Orc. Unless they have... Yeah, I think I could just waste the Saga and that really sets them back. But I am going to start taking these long goodbyes. Because I do think that they are pretty good. Probably the most powerful thing they can do against us. Trinisphere is good if they can explode it out. But they can't currently... Yeah, there's no risk of a turn 2 Trinisphere. And it is something we can consign. So I'm going to... Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. 12 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to think. And you know that I love to think and deliberate and vacillate on gameplays and be mercurial. I'm going to drop some more of the $5 words that I learned in grad school. All right. So that is the rip for the turn. Bellmeyer. We're going to use our Wasteland on there. I wouldn't mind drawing another land for sure. I think this is an in-step Bowmasters thing. They could Plague Engineer. Cleanly deals with Bowmaster. That's a great rip. Yeah, I think we just keep getting our life total lower. I'm going to hide the Wasteland, but I will use it next turn. At this point, it might actually make sense to lock them under their own Trinisphere if they try to cast it, let it resolve. Because we're going to have a lot of interaction. I don't think they play Wasteland. If we Delta here, then we pretty much have to waste this, and then they could like Soul Land into Plague Engineer. I think it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and shock. I'm going to go with Reckless Abandon. That's how we roll over here in the Death Shadow Discord. All right, consign. So this is an ETB trigger. No, it's not. That kind of sucks. What I was hoping to do, they may not even try to Trinisphere. Unfortunately, I'm just going to play this land out. I could shock and get the Shadow on the table. Then if they play the Plague Engineer, we don't have any recourse. We can't attack through it. We don't have any way in our deck to remove it. They can just long goodbye it. I'm just going to chill. I don't want to stop the Trinisphere. I hope they play it. I actively hope they play Trinisphere here. I don't think they'll play Plague Engineer into the Void. All right. I am going to go ahead and just snipe them. And if they use a long goodbye on this, that's spectacular. But I know that they have a Urza Saga in hand. So this is like just like a one shot, basically. One swing. I really want to find like a Daze for Plague Engineer. No, I want to find a Force for Plague Engineer. Engineered Explosives, not great right now, but it will be good later. I'm just going to swing in here. I feel like wasting them is a huge trap. I haven't seen any discard effects from them. I don't think there's any reason to play out the Engineered Explosives. Let's keep that as closed information. But their Plague Engineer is just going to cleanly take these out, and then it's just going to be a game piece that we have to worry about. I'm going to play this out just to make my land drop for the turn in case I draw further lands. I'm not happy where we are. They may play out the Urza Saga. I can waste it with the trigger on the stack. Then they may be scared to do anything further because they may be worried about Plague Engineer. All right, I'm going to consign this. I do not want to deal with this card. And I also don't want to burn my Engineered Explosives on it. We've got multiple consigns. Let's use them. Note that I did not replicate it. I easily could have. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop me stopping them. It's just not what their deck does. They're being cagey about playing out the Urza Saga. If they play it now, I can waste them and I can get extra hits in. Okay, they're opting not to play their land. So we do get some extra hits. Okay, yeah, they didn't play it. This Wasteland's being a great Scarecrow. Keep cracking. If we can draw another Bowmasters, that's good. Street Wraith, I'm just going to do it now. Brainstorm, I'm going to do it. Set us free, Brainstorm. We're looking for Force, blue card. Okay, we have Force blue card now. I don't need this land. I don't really need Engineered Explosives. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I'd rather just double Thoughtseize them or double Death Shadow them They can get through one. They can't get through both. I'm going to attack and see if they long goodbye here. Okay. So let's talk about their hand and what is threatening about it. We know 5 of their 6 cards. I think I'm going to go ahead and drop these shadows. No, because then I can't hold up consign. I'll drop 1 shadow. If we drop both and they Plague Engineer, we can just force it. Then we... Yeah, I think it's unlikely they have enough long goodbyes to kill all of our Death Shadows. I think I'm going to do this. And now we just have force, and we're basically hoping that we can gate what they can do. Here's the first long goodbye. Okay, and the other one's in the graveyard, so hopefully they don't have more. I mean, this is a 1-drop. It is a way to win the game, but it is just a 1-drop. It's not the end of the world that they removed it. I don't want to wait around to try to clear a path for it with a thoughtseize. All right, let's go ahead and hit this now. This cuts them off casting 4-drops, and then we will force the Plague Engineer, and then we will hopefully beat them to death. I'm not worried about Trinisphere. They could Trinisphere here, which doesn't actually matter. That would be kind of like a waste of a turn cycle. Chrome Mox. So this is probably going to be the unknown card. I can't imagine them putting Plague Engineer under there. Unless they have something really good. They put long goodbye. They had another long goodbye. So this Plague Engineer, in theory, answers everything we're doing. Because it blocks the Death Shadow and it removes these other ones. But we're not going to allow it. We're hitting them for 8. They're on a 2-turn clock. Assuming they can't do anything next turn. Daze is a decent rip, like in terms of things we can do that are interactive. So if they Helm, I will Daze it just because, like, no, they won't be able to win in time. Snuff Out's not on. I'm trying to think of what they could do here. Yep, we got it. We're 3-0 with not a single reserve list card in the deck. Just to give you an idea, like, I think my typical decks play at least like 7 or 8 reserve list cards. Maybe 10. I mean, like Dreadnought plays the 4 Dreadnoughts. It plays 3 Tundras. I guess that's just 7. So like typically you're playing 7 or 8, but like reserve list cards. I mean, my FPB Underground Seas are like $100,500 or something like that right now. Maybe $1,300. And then the Dreadnought itself is like a $200 card. Gilded Drake. Yeah, I guess if I play like my my Espervile deck, the Gilded Drake itself is a reserve list card, and then you got the forces. You got like tons of duels. I mean, that's probably like a $6,000 or $7,000 deck. So like the fact that we're doing this well with a deck that literally costs like $500 or something. Like, I think the forces are expensive. The Tamiyo is actually surprisingly expensive, but like, that's it. This is great. I love this. All right. See you in round 3. We're 3-0, or round 4 rather. All right. We're up against somebody who plays Doomsday and Breakfast. Like, this is the deck to be playing against those types of decks. Like, hopefully everything goes well and we can completely shred them. If they're on Breakfast, Dismember's good. I think we just put it back. I'd rather have these interaction spells that are not contingent on them having creatures. We'll put that back. Man, my heart is racing. I'm having so much fun playing these. This is a Breakfast start. I mean, Doomsday could be playing this. Island Ponder. Is Ponder banned in Modern? Yeah, I think this is a Legacy only start, but it is the iconic Legacy start. The Control Mage. Murktide is a great thing we can do in a couple turns. Our only interaction is Daze currently. I think we could Island Ponder, but they're not presenting any sort of interaction for Tamiyo. I think it's fine to go ahead and just... Well, if we Island Ponder, then what we can do is we can play it slower and get more information about their deck. I'm going to shock myself. I'm going to give away some information about myself. I do want to ponder... Maybe they think we're on like a budget deck because like who plays Death Shadow in 2025? But I'm playing it. All right. Hopefully they don't have Daze, and we don't want these cards. I'm very glad to shuffle those away. That would be terrible, drawing 3 back-to-back. And we found the freaking force. Allow listed. All right. Let's see what happens here. Fetching. Probably getting Underground Sea. If it gets a Tundra, I'll be like, ooh. It gets the Plains. All right. They're on Breakfast. Yeah, I'm not going to interact with this, but the fact that I pause for a second, like tells him, okay, he's got a force. Okay. So what we can do now is we can Tamiyo. I would love to draw I'm going to hold this Brainstorm for later, and I'm going to Tamiyo and do the Tamiyo trick. They definitely know that we're on Shadow now because... All right. So we have Force, we have Daze. If their last card is freaking Caverns, I'm going to be so tilted. Oh, thank goodness. Right. I was genuinely like terrified, mortified even. I haven't used that word before, I don't think. Oh, yes. Such a great card. This is like the best card against these types of strategies that are creature combo. Because like they think, oh, he's tapped out. What's the worst that could happen? Well, you're about to see the depths of my wrath. Okay, and I am going to go and flip. Because like buying back Snuff Out, too appetizing to leave on the table. You got to scrape that plate. We got even more interaction. We got more life-lowering stuff. I don't really want this land. I'm going to shuffle it away. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and Street Wraith in first so I can pick up this Fatal Push. Because that is good. So let's Street Wraith for the push. Actually, we can play this out. Maybe we get into a force fight. Because we can always just fetch. We just need to remember to draw the push before we fetch. I think everything else is groovy. And I mean that in a your hand got cut off, so now you just attach a chainsaw in its place kind of way. Okay, Nadu mana. We're gearing up for a fight. They dump a land. Okay, extra mana. Well, Nadu, you are most not welcome here. We're going to hit you on the stack. I am going to pitch this Murktide just in case I need interaction here. They are forcing back. Okay, I'm going to attempt to snuff first. We have to kill this thing. Is this correct? Because we can snuff out this without having to get Revolt. We'll just get Revolt and we'll deal with it in step. Nadu resolves. You are going to get a 2-for-1 here. You cheeky devil. All right. So I think first we just Daze here because they gave us a clean opportunity to Daze. They're down to one card. They're going to draw a card here. I'm just going to cycle now. Grab my Fatal Push. I'm going to fetch. I'm going to go super low on life. I could die to Nadu if they have like some way to interact, but they don't. I'm going to pay the life. I am going to push here. See what they rip. Oh no. This card's so good right now because like even the, dinkiest of attackers can take us out. Oh, so tilting. All right. Well, we did shuffle our deck. I am going to probably play this tap now just as a precaution. I got really greedy. I'm going to shuffle. Gosh. I mean, Death Shadow is what we're looking for. I like the Dismember a little bit. No, I want the Shadow now. And what I'm going to do is keep the Bowmaster up for next turn because we can ping. Yeah. So we don't want the Dismember ever. We'll just take the Shadow now. The last card in hand could very well be a Daze that they just didn't get a chance to use. Oh, am I crazy? Death Shadow will kill them in like 3 swings. We could buy back the Fatal Push, which I think is fine. They could just Nadu. This is hard. This is a very hard deck to play. Buying back Snuff Out is pretty good. I think I buy back the push. I'm going to plus this turn, and then I'll see what happens. I'm going to play the Watery Grave out untapped, just because Daze would be such a beating, and I do kind of have, off the top of my deck, I do have stuff covered. It's just this one unknown in hand. If it's a Daze, that's so bad for us. Okay, so what are you going to do here? If you have a Nadu, I'll be so tilted and so sad. All right, we're never going to be able to crack this clue. I think it is safe to just buy back the Fatal Push here. Let's go to combat. If they have Lava Spur, that's pretty backbreaking. They're going to make the dude, I bet. I'm going to take it. Deal. If they have Nadu in their hand, it's so terrifying. Yeah, we won't be able to kill it in time. They can go get the Shuko. Archive. If they, I'll be terrified. Sick. All right, well, that is going to resolve. We're going to go ahead and poke it. No. Oh no. I didn't have the freaking stop. I'm going to do it now. Sorry, this is like the nth time I've been burned by not having a stop, but it has saved me a ton of clock. I don't want you to think that I'm just dumb, and that's why I'm not using that thing. Okay, so they do have a chumper, but we can push it. So if they have Nadu, they have a potential win. They can draw like 4 cards. Maybe find a plow. If they don't have Nadu exactly, I think we've won. That's fine. Illusionist. They are going to get a trigger. They could find a Narcomoeba here. This is the push. Gosh, it's so intense. We can just buy back another Fatal Push and we can attack it and win. All right, we got the game. They're making us play it out, but we have the game. Dismember also does it. Remember this guy. That means we get to keep our Tamiyo in case, like, there's nothing that can go wrong. This is like one of the things, like, things have gone wrong so many times. Like, I'm just like traumatized and I'm just like, oh. By the way, apologies to anybody who has like serious like PSD from like serving or anything like that. Like, I use the word traumatized, but like I use it lightly, but like I genuinely feel it, you know? I feel like I've lost so many times. Engineered explosives. Oh, well, Dress Down comes in. That's a good card. Surgical does stop specifically them winning, but it's not very good against anything else. Very Macabre. I think it's worth it. Engineered explosives can blow up Shuko and the constructs. Wait, Shuko? No, Shuko's a 1-drop. I mean, it can technically blow it up, but it also interacts negatively with ours. I think Spellbomb comes in. Spellbomb's quite good because we can just park it there and then we can crack it if we don't need it. Nadu just gives this deck so many scary angles to play on. I often cut Murktide in this matchup, but I think I'm actually going to cut the Shadows. That may seem crazy. That's what our deck does, but they have Prismatic Ending. They've got like lots of things that can chump. Like nothing's worse than like them finding a Narcomoeba every turn and just chumping your creature that has literally no evasion. Yeah, I think I just cut those Shadows and we are going to win with a Murktide or with one of our borrowers. It doesn't really matter how you win. You just disable your opponent and stop them from being able to execute their game plan, and then you win. Yeah, I think this is how we roll. All right. This is a strong anti-Nadu keep. I am, like, if I start playing Watery Grave without tap, my opponent's going to know that we're not on Death Shadow and that we've boarded them out. I don't know if that matters. I think I just play the Flooded Strand and then I can fetch a Watery Grave in step. You may be wondering why we don't have Surveil lands in this deck. Like, this deck is just so balls to the wall. Like, you can't really afford to be having lands come into play tapped. I am very glad that I put this island in here. Like, maybe somebody like Marco Montani can get away with that, not playing it. Oh, they kept on the top. That's scary. But I can't. I'm not. It's a Brainstorm, getting it out before the Bowmasters come into play. I like it for them. And then just chilling. So we could draw a Brainstorm. We're not going to do anything with this mana other than just potentially get an untapped Watery Grave. I feel like we just chill. Okay, another Watery Grave. I'm going to pass with lots of interaction up. I'm going to take 2. We don't have anything going on. We're pure reactive mode. But if we can stop their kind of like big volley, which we have like 4 interaction points currently, they're going to their other Surveil land, get even more card quality. I do miss surveilling. I miss my my Espervile deck and like a lot of the decks that play 2 Surveils. It's a really good feel. And Surveil lands are precisely what Breakfast needed, in addition to Nadu, to push them over the finish line there. I'm just going to chill with the shuffle effect up. All right, more interaction, which, I mean, these are blue cards we can pitch to force. I'm going to play this out. Like, I'll play the tapped Watery Grave on a subsequent turn. I am really worried that they find, specifically Urza Saga is probably the most troubling card they could have. All right, there it is. There it is. Can we find a cantrip, please, deck? We've got 8 of those in our 50 cards. If I can have a single cantrip, I think I can find a Wasteland and get this off the table. Okay, thoughtseize is good. I guess I'm going to thoughtseize and take a bunch of damage next turn. My goodness. Come on, deck. Okay, they have the Illusionist. They have double Nomad. Like, we have to go after the Illusionist, sadly. The Nomads, the problem with Nomad is they already have a whole bunch of A's and they're just looking for a B in the form of the Cephal Illusionist. I'm going to play this out tapped because we're going to potentially take a lot of damage from this. They're not going to win next turn, I don't think. But now I'm like deathly afraid of Nadu. Like, we're going to have to force Nadu multiple times. If they find Caverns, the game's just over. We're not anywhere near casting Murktide, but I would like to cast Murktide. Dress Down would be good. We didn't put the Engineered Explosives in our deck, so really Dress Down is our only clean answer to Urza Saga. I'm not going to bring the Death Shadows in for game 3. I genuinely think that like this matchup is all about stopping them and then just killing them with whatever you have left. And I think, not to jinx this match, but I think like the last 4 or 5 times I've played against Breakfast, I've won. I played against Larson and beaten him recently, but he was on a different deck. He wasn't on Breakfast. He's the best Breakfast player on Earth, probably. The other excellent Breakfast player would be Max, whom I have a video where I'm playing probably almost the exact 75 that this person's playing. My opponent is waiting a lot and thinking a lot, which is fine because I'm down on clock. Okay. Attacking up the Saga. Dropping a land. Okay. Their hand is not known because this Saga was in their hand. Give me something. Oh, there we go. I don't see any reason to wait. I'll wait till my end step and see what they do, but they're almost certainly going to. So this does deny them both a Construct and a Shuko, and their Construct is just going to be a 1/1. They don't have very many artifacts in their deck. I just don't want to have to burn a Fatal Push on an Urza Saga when I already burned a Wasteland on it. They may be wary to start attacking us, though, if they think that the Shadows are still in our deck. And they may try to go for a non-combat win. Okay, here comes the Construct. I'll just go ahead and waste now. So we kept a Shuko off the table, which may be of consequence, because we can still technically kill both of the Nomads if we have to. There's a Nomad. This is one of the matchups where actually, like, if we had it in our deck, Plague Engineer would be really good against this, because you can just name, like, Wizard, basically. Or you'd probably just name, Nomad. All right, can we get a cantrip, please? Oh, Tamiyo's fine. I'll play this out. They don't have interaction for her. She can start drawing his cards. I will force to protect her, just because I know my opponent doesn't have a lot going on over there. But will I double force to protect her? I mean, sadly, I might, because I think that we're just going to lose this game. The longer they ripped a brick, that's good. Daisies are terrible here. So I am going to block here. I'll block that. They can't get bigger. I don't think either of them can bigger. Let's take the 1 damage. They're opting not to play with their second Nomad. Okay. Bad rip. Come in for a hug. If we could flip her, that would be good, because then we could, basically stop these from being able to attack profitably. And we can start teching up toward second thoughtseize, which is thoughtseize is very good in this matchup. I'm going to go ahead and crack the clue. Bowmasters is great. We don't know that they don't have a daze. Let's see, I've got 8 cards in my hand. I do have to play something out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's totally possible. I'll just go ahead and ping this. Yeah, we're going to take 2. Black. And I will get into a force fight over this. They may hardcast the force, which means I can just daze it, which would be nice. Okay, it looks like they're going to do that. So this is good, because they're like cracking fetches that they could crack later. Okay. And I might even double daze here. How sweet would that be if I can blow them out with double daze? So uncracked fetches are really valuable for when you draw Brainstorm later. So they don't have daze, or else they would have probably just dazed here. I'm going to return this island. Okay. We're in. I'll just ping the Nomad and then they'll redirect it. But if they don't do that for some reason, then that's great. So we still get the Amass trigger. Because the I could have played that. Oh, so bad. So bad, sorry. Hopefully it doesn't come down to them having days and me not being able to stop them. Okay, they're going to play their other Nomad. Oh, Prismatic Ending. Do we force to protect? I'm going to force to protect. I really want this Tamiyo on the table. Do they have another one? Crazy, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to freaking protect her. She's all we got going on, really. We have Snuff Out if they have the combo. They don't have it. Great. All right. They're down to 2 cards, and one of them is Force. The other one's Unknown. Those daisies were sweet. Okay, this is actually really good. It's a really good card to rip. I'm going to go ahead and attack like this. Yeah, I'm just going to attack like this. I'll hold back. So, because now they can't attack at all. Like, they wouldn't attack in there. They're not going to want to lose either of these. And we'll just chill. Dress Down's a great rip. We do need to be mindful of time in case there's a game 3. So if they Nadu, I can just Dress Down and then I can cleanly push the Nadu. This is fine. This is going to ping one of their dudes. Actually, I guess there's a whole bunch of dudes. It's like 6. All right, that was a great trade. All right. That's something we'll hold. Let's see. Yeah, they have pretty perfect mana. I don't think wasting them is smart. I'm going to go ahead and ponder here first. Thoughtseize gets the force out of their hand cleanly. Extra Bowmasters is quite good. I think we just take the Bowmasters here. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to crack the clue. I'll play this. I'll attack. I'm going to crack the clue. No, I'm just going to hold back. I don't want to like somehow have Tamiyo get injured. That's cowardly, I know, but I'm just kind of like shortcutting because I don't want to have to think too much. I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize now. I'll take their force. I can keep that Narcomoeba. Now I can go ahead and I can't both crack and I will crack this and start plussing. So we can't cast it because I cast that Thoughtseize, but like it was good to do that because they're left with nothing basically now. They can play that out and they can kind of counter my Bowmaster with it. Oh, we tapped out of freaking dressed. Oh, so we'll have to kill both of these if they have Nadu. Okay, they do have Nadu. So let's kill the first one. Now we'll snuff out the second one. Now Nadu resolves. He doesn't do anything. We dress down. We regrow the Fatal Push. That's fine. Everything is proceeding according to plan. It's just dress down. Draw a card. I can fetch and just get a tap land. That turns on Revolt, and then I can push Nadu. I think that's the correct line. We're going really low. No, I would not like to pay the last 2 life here. Let's return. This Fatal Push. It's like brain surgery. My goodness. Fatal Push on Nadu. Blue, black. Bowmaster. Oh, it doesn't ping this. We're going to lose our freaking Tamiyo. Oh, they can attack in and they can kill us. Oh, it's so bad if I just waited. I'm so dumb. All right, I'm going to attack with both. We're going to lose because of... Oh, so dumb. They can either kill me or they can kill Tamiyo, but they can just kill me across 2 turns. I freaking threw it. Like, I think I'm tired. Obviously, I'm tired. Like, I've just been on edge this entire game. Let's see whether Narco kills me or kills... It has to kill Tamiyo. If it kills me, then I can just keep plussing. All right, so let's see if we can find something that saves me here. Yeah, bye, Tamiyo. Oh, so bad. I thought I had everything figured out. I don't deserve to be saved. Snuff out. We can hardcast it. Okay. If they have a force, then that's pretty death. I'll go ahead and attack for everything first, because nothing's going to block this anyway. I do think I snuff out here because I don't think we're safe to wait. Could just be holding the combo, but I'm dead anyway if I don't kill this. And yeah, like this minimizes the chances of them drawing hardcast force. So we have Brainstorm up, which we know is just going to find us 2 fetches and 1 unknown. So Brainstorm is not going to stop the combo if they just have it. Oh, land. Such a relief. Let's go ahead and attack. I don't like playing out this Missy, but I do think it's correct. We can't fetch anything, but we can... No, I'm just going to hold. Just have to get through like 1 more turn cycle. I want to be able to force in case that is something we find. Wow. I punted so hard there. I definitely don't deserve to win. Maybe they have a plow here. They plow 1. Would I force this? No, I actually welcome the life. In my Death Shadow deck, I'm like, thank goodness they're plowing one of my creatures. That could unlock a lot of stuff. Let's see what we find here. Using the whole whale. They can't win off a single card. I don't think. I would love to jam this spellbound. Like, what could they draw that could be good? If they drew a Nadu, actually, that would hold us back. We'd push. We'd have to waste, and then we push. They're waiting for a long time. There's nothing they can do here. I think they're just tilting off or something. Maybe I'll get like a big message in chat. I don't know. Maybe they're experiencing lag. I'm going to test. Yeah, so my connection's fine to MTGO. Let's attack. They're 2. They can't remove both of these. I know I'm drawing 2 bricks. We did it. We are 4-0. We've only lost 2 games. With Death Shadow. Reserve list. No reserve list Shadow. This feels amazing. Okay. Calm down. We got 1 more match. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go like do some squats or something just to get my blood flow. Well, actually, I need to calm down. I need to do the opposite to get my blood flow going. This is a freaking amazing league. Oh my God. Let's hold it together. Let's not face Jeskai control in the final reps or some plow prismatic ending. We just beat a plow prismatic ending deck. Yeah, let's hope for the best. Hope for facing combo or something. Oops, I'll spell something like that. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Or it's going to be seamless. You're just going to jump straight to round 5. But we are 4-0. All right. We're up against Punishing Waterfalls. I've never actually faced him before. I don't think he's likely playing Wasteland. Oh, they said you too. I think they're just saying good luck, have fun. I don't know if they ever watch my videos. Okay, so this hand has land. It has Ponder, Murktide, Death Shadow. I think this is kind of like a turbo Death Shadow plan. I think this is perfectly keepable, assuming they're not going to combo our faces off. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary. They're definitely not going to combo our faces off with Mystic Sanctuary. They could be on Wizards. So the conservative play is to just do Tamiyo. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Island Ponder and not give them any information about what we're playing. I'm just looking for a second land. Because if we do, Street Wraith can help us flip Tamiyo. We're not really using black for anything immediately. I mean, that is a daze. That is disruption. But again, they're on Mystic Sanctuary. I don't think they're going to be doing anything like that. I mean, actually, double Street Wraith does just flip Tamiyo immediately. So maybe this is a keep. Yeah, I'm going to take the daze in case they're like Beanstalk or something. Next turn, we have flip Tamiyo, immediately flipper. But if they show white, then I'll be reticent to do that. Come on, MTGO, don't do this. This is going to be a grinder. I can tell you, this is going to be a grinder of a final game. Come on, MTGO, don't do this to me. Okay, sorry. I hope I don't. But I thought I could go to the city to get power converters. I can't remember what the line is, but it's just like a throwaway line in the movie, Star Wars. But like everybody gave Mark Hamill such a hard time for the way he delivered that line. I kind of want to. I can set a stop in my end step, and if they don't do anything, then I want to flip. I'm gonna go ahead and flip. This is the bolt opportunity. Oh, the thing is shining. That's cool. Plus, all right, if they have like that, they can't actually target this with Flame of Manure. I suspect they're just on the Wizards, Blue-Red Wizards list. Lorien Cycle. Blue-Red Wizards is not an aggressive deck that can deal with like a early Tamiyo very well. Uh-oh, they may have freaking Prismatic Ending. Okay, they're not doing it. We did draw a land, which is great. I'm just going to play this out. I'm going to pay the life. I'm going to plus. A Ponder is in order. We can get a Murktide out. I'm going to Ponder first. See what we're finding. We can just fuel a big Murktide. Flame of Manure, target player draws 2 cards. Yeah, I'm just going to daze that. I don't really want them drawing cards. That's like what their deck does. So kind of a 2-for-1. I don't think they're playing Wasteland in their deck. Okay, Brazen Borrower, these cards probably don't really do what we want them to do. Can't yet Death Shadow. I think I just any order shuffle this. I'm looking for Moral Forces. Another Tamiyo's not terrible. We could play her out as a potential distraction. She does pitch to Force. I don't think I do anything here. I'm gonna chill. No, I am gonna Ponder because I don't think they play Days, and I just want to fill up my yard. thoughtseize is great. I think these are all great except for Tamiyo. We can't Wasteland and deploy Shadow next turn, but I think that they have Plow, so I don't think Shadow is going to do much. I think I'm going to start by thoughtseizing them, and then I can regrow thoughtseize if there's something too catastrophic in their hand. They may have Spell Pierce. We can't stop a Spell Pierce anyway. There's the Spell Pierce. Famous Spell Pierce player. It's fine. I'm not going to pay for it. Now, I think we just waste their White Source. They can just get another one. And I'm going to plus here. Snapcaster to do nothing. As far as I can tell, that's okay. That's fine. I'm not going to put anything else on the stack here. Plus, they can attack us, but we can still ultimate. So we have Force Up. They're probably looking for a way to remove this. So I'll just Force Pitch Tamiyo here. They could find both Spell Pierce and Prismatic Ending, which would suck. But we just have to... Okay, they conceded. Wow. My first ever game of against Punishing Waterfalls. Okay. So we're heavily unfavored here. We're going to get destroyed here. This is really rough matchup. Bowmaster does come in, though. They do use their graveyard for quite a bit of stuff. It might make sense to bring in Now Spellbomb. Let's go ahead and take a look at their list. So I think they have like a Wizards somewhere in here. It's probably under, is that Control? Or wait, it's this. They're always like winning legacy challenges. This player is amazing. I love him. It's an honor to play with them. So 2 prismatic endings. They do not have additional prismatic endings in the side. Wrath of the Skies, we don't need to worry about that. 4 Spell Pierce. This is what I'm talking about. Serious commitment to Spell Pierce 4th. That is one reason to keep their cards low. Fire Ice. But they do have 4. They have lots of exile-based ways to remove our Death Shadows. I don't want to cut it though, because I think tempoing them out is part of the plan here. They don't really have anything that Dress Down addresses. So we're going to bring in the Hydros for sure. Snuff Out's pretty bad. Actually, Fatal Push is bad. They're not going to be doing a lot of damage to us. Snuff Out can potentially remove... Let's see. Do they bring any creatures side? I don't think they do. Just they have Magus of the Moon, which is kind of scary. And it is a wizard. Consign's not good here. As bad as... Well, I mean, we could dress down their cards. Dress Down could help us get damage across the line. It's just a value play against Snap. I don't think that's where we want to be. Maybe it is. Oh, this is so hard. Gosh, why couldn't I just get paired against... Doesn't know what they're doing, so we can get this trophy. We're not to work hard. I think Force Negation is okay. No, wait, we actually have to cut a card. Sorry. So we're trying to cut a card, not add a card. I think the card to cut is a Daze on the draw. I will keep the Dazes in just because we really have to tempo them. They have long game inevitability. This is a multi-shadow hand with some interaction. I'm going to keep this. Okay. Volk start. If I draw a Tamiyo, I might want to use the Straight Wraith for that. I didn't. I'm just going to use it. See what we draw. Force is a great rip. I'm just going to Grave, Pay the Life, Ponder. And if we don't like at least 2 of these cards, we can shuffle them. Otherwise, we can shuffle away the one bad one. Getting the MTGO spinner again. Punishing Waterfalls always talks about like, oh, they had a tank on the best possible. So Punishing Waterfalls, if you're watching, I'll go ahead and tell them. Yes, I'm going to... Now we're going to go ahead and just Ponder. And they may pierce this, and that's fine. We're just trying to load up our graveyard. Okay, Murktide, thoughtreize. These are like insane. I don't really want the Daze. I think I go like this, then I have double interaction, and I can thoughtseize. I can actually thoughtseize and Shadow next turn. And then we have a Force to Protect if we need to. Murktide is not as important. They probably have Blasts in, which makes Murktide less good. Like Pyroblasts. How many Pyroblasts do they play? 2? Okay, so yeah, we'll know in a second when we look at their hand. All right, let's go ahead and attempt to do this. If they pierce it, I will Daze it. Okay. They do not have removal, which augurs well for us. Given that they do not have removal, I think I take the Brainstorm, which is the card selection. And it is a way to flip Tamiyo. Now I'm going to fetch Shock. We're not going to play scared on basics. We're going to Shock, and then we're going to put in the Shadow, and it'll be small at first, but it will get bigger. We can only deploy 1 at a time safely against them. So what I'll probably do is I will deploy the Regent as well. Regent comes to the word Raj. If you've heard the Indian term license Raj, same root word. You're surveilling. Would love to find a Wasteland for that. Let's take a look at their hand. Actually, I don't think Wasteland matters. They've got plenty of... Let's keep calm. Snapcaster Mage to buy back the Brainstorm. I think this is fine. I can just Daze the Brainstorm. And then I can attack in. Hope I'm not like screwing this up. Maybe that was a Force. I don't think it was. I think we just protect the Queen here. They're going to fetch. So that was their draw for turn. So we have perfect information about their hand. I get an extra Shock here. I'm going to just try to muscle them with the Death Shadows here. Am I? Yeah. I mean, putting a second Murktide out is just as... So they do have the Force. So we can get more damage if we fetch. I'm trying to think if there's something that I might be able to get them to Force in the Daze on. If we just put up the Regent, again, the problem is they just plow it and they kill both of our creatures at the same time. That's the problem of Death Shadow. They know about the Watery Grave in hand. If we fire this off, okay, we are going to do more damage. They're disincentivized from attacking us. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and attack in. I think it's correct to hold I'm so tempted to just play this Murk out. I think I'm going to do it. I just telegraphed so much information in our hand. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So it's going to come in. They are forcing here, which is great because we can daze this. But now we don't have a force of our own. So if they do find a plow, we're super duper uber ultra screwed. So maybe that was a greedy play. We are going to be able to shock and deal more damage now, though. Please don't find the four. What did they pitch here? They did find the plow. We're freaking Stone Age. Shocks. Man, I should have just played out the second shadow. That was a total punt. Okay, now they got Tamiyo going. They're coming in for 2. We can fetch and drop another shadow, but the fact that they have Tamiyo is pretty dangerous here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just shock, drop a Tamiyo, or drop a shadow. It'll be small. I think we have lost, and it was entirely preventable if I just played out the Death Shadow, but I freaking blinked. I didn't think about the fact that I could be dazed, that I might have to daze. And I didn't have to daze, frankly. I could have just let them force that. We're going to tighten up. 1 card in hand. They have so much value, though, and they're nearly Lorien mana. If they find a land, then they can just Lorien flip this, and we're never getting through. Fetching. They may have another Surveil land, but if they're fetching to do something that's scary, like another Snapcaster with Plow, Mystic Sanctuary to put the Plow on top. Yep, we're going to lose our Death Shadow again, and with it, most hope of climbing back out of this. We can do, because I freaking blinked and played the wrong card. Sorry, everybody. And, you know, they had Snapcaster. They had lots of stuff coming back. So that was just purely just me. I mean, I think I reasoned through and I was like, I should play the Shadow. And then I just changed my mind at the last time, which is something that you all in the comment section often point out to me, that like I frequently come up with the line and then I change my mind at the second. I think Dazes comes back in. I think we can cut a Snuff Out. Snuff Out's pretty terrible against them. Like, yeah, I can kill a Tamiyo, but that's about it. We're going to try to turbo them. They know we're going to... Actually, I'll cut the Now Spell Bomb. I think Snuff Out can get us lower in life. Dismember is probably better than Snuff Out, and the reason is we can cast it paying life and target our own creature if we absolutely need to. Any other changes? This is it. This is for all the marbles. Force can't protect. Force Negation can't protect. I think Daze is going to do a better job. We're just going to go balls to the wall, super turbo. This is a good hand. I don't like the second Murk, but like I like being able to fill up the yard quickly. Tamiyo, they have to deal with that while we potentially get to where we need to be. Yeah, I'm going to keep this on the strength of Thoughtseize. I think Thoughtseize is really good against their deck. Also, we're able to get it out before they can do anything with it. This may not be turbo enough, though. Next turn, we can waste... Okay. Prismatic Ending, they have like a perfect storm of interaction here. I think we have to take Pyro and hope that we can dig to... Yeah, because... Well, maybe we can waste the Archive. We can catch them off balance. Pyroblast does answer Murktide, and that is like more important to our long-term plan. Prismatic Ending merely answers Tamiyo. Thunder Trap is a source of card advantage. Okay, this is coming in tapped. Maybe we want... Well, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and Street Wraith first, because if I can find a second one, then it's pretty free to go ahead and Tamiyo... Well, Tamiyo Flip is not going to do anything in the face of Prismatic Ending here. I think we just waste them and maybe buy a turn. We're not really accomplishing anything. They may be scared to hit Prismatic Ending around on Tamiyo around Daze. They may think that that's in our hand. It is forward momentum, and I think we have to go for forward momentum. Maybe that's a misplay. But if they can wait a turn on the Prismatic Ending, then it's going to be much more reliable because they won't have to worry about us. Oh, they just played that from hand. Okay, that is fine. That sucks, but that's fine. Now I actively want them to play... gosh, they have a force. Yeah, and if we'd waited, we'd be able to flip her. That's pretty bad. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. I want to put back one of these Murktides. We definitely don't need two of them. Okay, Bowmasters is legit. I'm going to put back Snuff Out. I don't think it's going to matter. And I'm going to put back a Murktide. Now I'm going to play this out. And next turn, we can Murktide with Force. It'll be just a 5/5. That's not going to win us the game. I'm going to go to my upkeep, fetch, shock. The brainstorming here, that's fine. We had to shuffle anyway. Get a Watery Grave. We're going to shock it in. Draw for turn. Another Watery Grave. Does give us... doesn't really do anything for us here. I think I just play it out. And I think I do go ahead and just do a Murktide here. I'll keep an extra type in the graveyard. We'll keep... in case we have to do this again later. I'm not going to do anything with this mana. I'm not going to force this. What did they pitch? They pitch Force. They have Spell Pierce up, to our knowledge. We'll let it go. We'll just have to get in with Bowmaster. Thundertrap Trainer can actually survive Bowmaster, which is kind of unfortunate. If they cast it, I'll probably daze it. They're going to Surveil. They could have land in hand. This game is slipping away from us very quickly. I will daze Thundertrap, though, unless they have Spell Pierce mana up. They have tons of mana in their deck. Yeah, they find a land. Okay, so Thundertrap is resolving, unfortunately. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about this. They get to look at 4 cards. So the card advantage snowball begins. They found Flame of Anur, which is just like insane value against us. Also, let's see. Our dragon would have been 6/6, right? So, no, it was 5/5. So it would have died to this too. So it was good to let them force that. All right, we're just going to kick it. See if we can get them to use Flame of Anur for something. But we do have Spell Pierce mana up now. Just going to take it. This is fine. So this is a window for us to go ahead and put Bowmaster down where they can't respond with Flame of Anur. However, Flame of Anur can kill as well as hit us. I think we just... I mean, there's no reason they would have cast this unless we put it out. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then... We don't have good attacks, but like they probably are anticipating this. So when they Flame of Anur, I'll force, and then I will have the mana up to pay for it. And that will stop them from flipping Tamiyo, and it will also... Hydroblast is pretty fine draw here. I'm going to attack with both. I don't really care about my life total. I want to start doing some damage at least. Okay, that's fine. So we're definitely going to Hydro Flame of Anur, and then we can... do something like they'll probably have a land drop. So Daze is going to be bad. It's going to be pitched to force. Oh, they don't. They may just, oh yeah, they're just going to hold back. That makes sense. Our own Tamiyo. I'm going to play her out. We're just going to hold. We're not going to be able to out control the control deck, unfortunately, but I'm going to do my best here. This can get back a lot of stuff. I think we force here because we can pay for the Spell Pierce. I don't want another body on the table is the thing. They're going to get back Pyro, and we can daze it. Yeah, I think they just get back Pyro. If we just force here, we don't have to worry about that, though, and that's just as mana efficient. Yeah, so I'm going to do this. By keeping the number of wizards on the table to a minimum, we do reduce the likelihood of them doing nasty stuff. Okay. So Hydroblast is going to have to carry a lot of weight here. Getting the spinner again. This is the last game of the set, though, so I'm not too worried about it. This person routinely wins, challenges and stuff. That's a cool island. Make it to the moon. I could just go grab my island and chill. Okay, so end step, this is a good time to go ahead and do this because we don't want them to have force negation. If this doesn't work, then we just lose. They have Spell Pierce, but we have 2 mana. Okay, good. It worked. So now the thing we have to worry about is the fact that they have Flame of Anur in their hand. Ponder... I'm going to go ahead and attack first to get a clue, and then I'm going to ponder, and I'm going to hope to find another Hydro or a way that I can flip her. Flame of Anur can't target her once she's a Planeswalker. They are spell piercing here. That's fine. Do they have like a daze or something? Dismember, Death Shadow is actually pretty good here. Yeah, I think we play the Shadow, and we're all in on Shadow being able to kill. Flame can't kill Shadow in the current state. Oh, I thought that would have flipped her. Oh, that's why they did it. They did it to prevent me from flipping her. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So we've got a big creature. If they can find a plow or a snap, well, Snapcaster won't do it anymore. So they use the Spell Pierce. They drew 1 unknown. They have Flame of Anur that they can use to kill Bowmaster. We've got them in the Abyss potentially with this, but they can draw cards, but it does ping them. All they need is a plow to wreck our day. Fetching. I think they're going to try to flame because they can flip Tamiyo. They're putting Prismatic Ending on top. They can draw with Flame of Manure, and they can hit our Death Shadow. So we are going to lose here, unfortunately. Flame hits this. They draw 2. And I think it hits this. Actually, as part of Resolution, we do get 2 triggers. But it's not going to be enough. Because they can just get rid of this. And then our pressure is literally an orc. It's their turn to think. Here's the Flame. They're going after her. That's fine. Double draw trigger. I am going to... What am I going to do? Am I going to hit them? I think it makes sense to clear this. Now they go after Death Shadow. So we have some pressure. They're going to be able to Tamiyo ultimate. We're not going to be able to kill Tamiyo. If they find a plow, it doesn't matter. Okay, Tamiyo flips. They Prismatic End, and then every turn they can basically regrow Prismatic Ending, so they can use it again next turn. We know we're drawing... I think we're drawing 2 bricks. I'm going to go ahead and draw. Force doesn't do anything. I think the correct attack is just to attack Tamiyo here. So they can't regrow without losing her. Gosh. Yeah, I think they're... See what they draw here. They're plussing. They can just keep us in a holding pattern until they find removal or a Snapcaster or another Flame of Manure or one of many cards that they can find. We have to find a blue card, and even then, they do have clues they can crack. Yeah, they're cracking. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to ping her. Okay, now we can kill her next turn, but they may have the plow. Cracking that clue may have put her dead. I'm going to go ahead and attack her and see if we can kill her. If so, we're paying a very high price to kill her. Now we're just going to force what they do and hope that we can get all the way with Bowmaster. We will protect the queen on Bowmaster. Dismember is a dead card. Basically, cracking clue. I think it's extremely unlikely that force gets us out of this. But I'm going to keep all my mana up for Spell Pierce. I'm not going to ponder or do anything. Because they play like 4 Spell Pierces. All right, you're going to need another way to remove her. Do you have another one? Okay, you were going to force. All right, that does stop her. Stop it. Okay, so we have to swing twice successfully without them removing. Brainstorm. Okay, so that we've unlocked. They've unlocked. Yeah, I think we're like super duper dead. I will dismember anything they put in my path for sure, and I'll pay life so that I can have Spell Pierce mana up, unless they completely bricked. All right, this is a creature. Unfortunately, yeah, they can sift through. Like they can get rid of the bad cards that they put on top. They chose Spell Pierce. Well, I am going to go ahead and just remove this now. Okay, so Spell Pierce is not going to save them. I'm going to hold an unknown. There's not really any point in playing this out. They have to brick 3 turns in a row. And there's like... They have such a high density of good cards in their deck. They've already used their Mystic Sanctuary, but like they have to draw like really bad cards several turns in a row. We're still in the territory where Flame of Manure can kill this, sadly. They didn't get it so big that Flame of Manure is Flame of Manure proof. They're doing it. Yep, it's dead. Okay. Well, now I do need to play this out. It's unlikely that they're going to give me a window where they tap everything, but if they do, we can force like a something. I think they are bricking really hard, but if they have anything, I can get the Spell Pierce out of their hand by doing this. I don't think it's correct to do so. I think we have to hold this for a force. Yeah, because we know about the Spell Pierce, unfortunately. Yeah, they're already... I think they've already won the game. I'm not going to fetch Thin in case I find a Brainstorm. I don't want to keep this Spell Pierce... this is a window where we can borrow. I don't think it's going to matter, but I do think it's correct to do so without them being able to hardcast Force. Again, it's like a 1% play. Like 1% that they're not going to have an answer. But if their answers are all like stack-based and they don't have a plow, they could Prismatic Ending. They could do a lot of things. But I think that the risk of them having hardcast Force up, we need to apply pressure. They could just... Yeah, they won. I think that misplay was absolutely crucial. But I mean, Marco Montani brews a mean deck. We didn't run into a lot of Wasteland decks, which was good because this deck struggles against those. I loved it though. Death Shadow is super high skill, and I think Marco Montani would have won that because he wouldn't have played out his Murktide. I think that it was everything. And the trophy is all because of a single punt over the course of playing for nearly 3 hours. And a lot of this is going to get cut out because like when I'm silent, it edits it out. But like imagine playing for 3 hours and then making a single sequencing decision and losing the trophy for that. I think that's what happened here. So just a reminder to play tight for me. But the list felt great. The engineered explosives were awesome. We did get plenty of opportunity. And by the way, I just want to point out, we were not favored in that matchup. That was another white, like this deck does not like to play against white decks. So the fact that we got as far as we did and we did as well against that white deck is a true tribute to the resilience of this deck. But I had a really great time. I think Snuff Out was pretty good. Especially like the real reason to play Snuff Out is Nadu decks, and we got to showcase that. Brazen Borrower did go in as an attacker. It did save us during that Curses matchup, just helping us get the Chalice out of the way so we could drop the shadows. Being able to play on so little land and rarely drawing lands was very nice. Street Wraith was great. I never regretted Street Wraith. Of course, we didn't go up against Bowmasters. Overall, I don't have any thoughts on the deck. I think it plays great. Just play tight and play correctly, and you can get a trophy, which we didn't do here, but we did get a 4-1, which is, I mean, this is by far the best showing ever for Death Shadow for me. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say it. Like, I played like a version that had like Nethergoyf and Troll and stuff, Troll of Khazna Doom, and I literally 0-5'd. And I was just like, man, am I a terrible player or is this deck terrible? And I think Marco Montani, he's experienced. He's not playing cards like Reanimate Troll, which is crazy because, I mean, like, you always have Reanimate targets if you have Street Wraith in your deck. But in his wisdom, he's opted, no, I'm just going to go fast. And maybe that's just his instincts. But, going fast is remarkably strong even against control decks, and we nearly won. But for that punt, we nearly won game 1 of that match. So, arguably one of the top 3 or 4 players on MTGO. Bowmasters, having 2 of them, it was obviously really good. Do you want to have a 4th one in the board? Like, that would be a question I would be asking. Children's Edict never came in. So, like, my instinct is when you're up against a white deck, like, just have 4 Bowmasters. They're insane. It's the best card against the matchup. I did like having the extra Hydroblast. They did come in. The only matchup where I was like, oh, it'd be nice to have Plague Engineer was when we were up against Nadu Breakfast, which is, we won that cleanly anyway. I never really felt in danger. I think Nadu Breakfast is just one of those decks that is really strong, but once you really practice against it, and I probably played against it, I played 10 leagues with it. That's more than I played with most decks. 10 leagues with Nadu Breakfast, getting good at the deck. And I did trophy once with it, but it was hard. I got a lot of 4-1s. But this was way back when the card was first printed, and you can watch it. It's not very interesting. I actually, I did like a lot of videos on it early on when it was new and novel and people were watching. Don't watch those videos. Watch the Max video where we review his games and we talk about his deck decisions, and then we play a league with it. That's, if you want to watch Nadu Breakfast content from me, watch that. So I would say, like, no, you don't need Plague Engineer if that's what it's for. I don't think you need it for orcs. I think the best answer to an orcish bowmaster is an orcish bowmaster, and you just need to play the second one. Don't play the first one. And I feel like if we had the second one in, first of all, it would have been good against Punishing Waterfall. We definitely would have brought it in. And because the curve is so low, I just can't imagine casting a 3-drop. I don't think you want to be casting 3-drops with it. You're literally 17 lands. And the reason you can get away with 17 lands is because you're playing a 56 card deck instead of a 60. However, there are lots of situations that will come up where you'll have a shaky hand. You'll be like, if this Street Wraith gives me a land, I'm gravy. Or if this Street Wraith gives me a force, I'm golden. And it won't necessarily give that. It's like a high variance card, and it takes a lot of skill to play with this. And a lot of people will keep hands they shouldn't keep, endowing Street Wraith with mystical power to get the right card that it does not have. So my humble advice is just get the reps. Like, I definitely feel like I'm playing better with Death Shadow than ever. If you just pick it up, it's kind of like picking up Delver for the first time. If you ever played Delver for the first time, you just get destroyed. And you're like, why is this the top deck? How is this the top deck? I'm losing left and right. That was certainly what happened to me when I played Delver for the first time. Well, Death's Shadow is like that times 10. This is the highest skill deck in Legacy, I would argue. I think combo decks, people say like, oh, combo decks are really hard. And I do think it's hard to play like Tony Scamponi. And I think it's very hard to know when to go on lines and put yourself on the line and make them have it and things like that. Memorize a lot of probability, because frankly, you're not calculating hypergeometric calculations in your head. That's not feasible unless you're like some sort of math savant or you've spent years like learning how to do it as like a party trick. You are memorizing and you're creating heuristics and you're relying on instinct. And I do think that there's a lot of instinctual play here. So what I'm saying is, don't go thinking that Doomsday is like the most cerebral deck. It is a hard deck to play for sure, but I would argue something like Death Shadow is just as hard as like a Doomsday type deck or an Epic Storm type deck, because you are really brittle. You are super duper brittle. You do have all the recipes to, disrupt your opponents and stuff. But at the end of the day, you're relying on this 1 mana card that can be prismatic ending, that can be pushed, that can be plowed. And that if it is plowed, the rest of your cards go with it. They're always going to plow the Murktide. Like this was just I'm just going to be kicking myself all night long because I played out the Murktide winning the Shadow. I should have just played the second Shadow and forced pitching Murktide, and then I would have had days. And yeah, anyway, I'm going to sound like that. If you've ever seen that movie, Napoleon Dynamite, the brother who's talking about like, oh, if I'd only gotten this touchdown back in high school, and he's like trapped in that moment. Like, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to move on with my life. But I don't want you to get in situations like that. Like, please heed the warning. Do as I say, not as I did. And don't play out a Murktide when you already have a Shadow. I think that's a heuristic that I'll just keep in my head. Like, I would say the only creatures you should be playing out when you have a Shadow are ones that are small enough power that if they get plowed, they don't kill your Shadow. And there's a question of when you put the second Shadow on the board. I think we would have been okay to put it on the board and press. So if for some reason Punishing Waterfalls does make a video and I can see from his side of the table what he had in hand, I'll have a better idea of whether that could work. But I think he usually just publishes challenges. He doesn't publish leagues. He just uses leagues for practicing, which is essentially what I'm doing. So, yeah, we didn't get to play against Eldrazi. We did get to play against BUG Reanimator, and predictably we destroyed them. I think that this deck is at its strongest playing against combo deck, and it's at its weakest playing against white decks. Any white deck that has prismatic ending and plow is an absolute nightmare. So it's just kind of like when you're playing Doomsday, you want to dodge decks like this. When you're playing this, you want to dodge decks like Blue-Red Wizards or Jeskai Wizards, or Espervile would be a nightmare for this deck. Like, I think it's probably like a 10% matchup. I think that Jeskai Wizards was probably like a 20% matchup. And again, I'm amazed that we did as well as we did. In the hands of Marco Montani, who knows? I mean, he just sliced through the meta with this deck. So again, I'm going to keep complimenting him because he just is an incredible innovator, an incredible player. And I hope to one day be, as good as him. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep pushing to be excellent. And I will encourage you to be excellent to each other and party on.